You are about to listen to another episode of That Sports Guys podcast, hosted by Craig Forrestall. Find Craig on Twitter at that_sports_guy. The That Sports Guys podcast is proudly featured by NFL Draft Diamonds, your draft coverage king. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some football talk.
Hello and welcome to another episode of That Sports Guys podcast. I am Craig Forrestall. You may know me from Twitter as at that_sports_guy. But today it is all about Western Kentucky offensive lineman Tyler Witt. Tyler, what's going on with you?
Hey, Craig. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, anytime. I'm excited. And I want to jump into your hometown. Now, I shared with you before we got on here, I grew up in the 815 as well, but I'm from the opposite end. I grew up in Crystal Lake. Tell me what it's like in your neck of the woods. What's it like growing up in Joliet, Illinois?
It's a blue-collar town. Basically the best I could describe it. Joliet's known for it's a steel town, so there's a lot of steel mills and just working hard.
And then you played football for Joliet Catholic, and that's one of the more well-known high school programs in the country. They've produced endless players, including some NFL players like Mike Allstott, Kobe Fleener, Tom Thayer, Josh Ferguson. And it was also the inspiration for the movie Rudy. Daniel Rudiger also played at Joliet Catholic. Tyler, what does it mean to play for Joliet Catholic Academy?
Oh, it's just a great tradition there. When you go to JCA, the great history of players that come out of there, and you just hope that you can, make your impact in any way you can. But yeah, it's this great winning tradition and a very, very well-known team in Illinois, famous for running the ball.
And I want to ask you about that because you said it's a famous program. They have a legendary coach in Dan Sharp. Talk to me about how Dan Sharp was able to manage those expectations and that outside noise, because deep playoff runs, state titles, that's the expectation for Joliet Catholic every year. How do you stay focused? What type of program and how did Dan Sharp do that?
He always just preached hard work. Like I said earlier, growing up in that area, everyone is mostly blue collar. So when you come in, you got to have you're going to bring your boots and your lunch pail to the office, and you're going to do your job and put in that hard work. And then once that time's up, then you're free to do whatever you want. But while we're at the field or whether it be watching film or lifting, you got to put in your time.
And now, as you developed during your time at Joliet Catholic, you emerged as a high-end recruit. You were recruited by a lot of different programs. Tyler, take us through your recruiting process. What was it like for you?
Well, I didn't really start getting any scholarship offers until like the winter following my junior year of football. I was offered by a lot of FCS schools, Ivy League schools. I only had a handful of FBS offers. I had an offer from Air Force. I had an offer from Eastern Michigan. And I'm pretty sure that was the extent of my FBS offers. So, going into that, you just try to find the best fit for me, and knew wherever I went, I wanted to, have the same impact I did in high school as well.
And then what was it about Western Kentucky that made you know it was the right place for you?
When I got here, it was definitely the people. Bowling Green, Kentucky just reminded me of, Joliet in a way, with all the restaurants and just the people. I bonded a lot with the guys that, took me out on my visit, spent some time with them. And I realized that they're a lot like my friends and they have a lot of the same values. And sure enough, that was the thing that brought me to Western Kentucky.
And then when you arrived on campus, you took a redshirt year. That following year, you started at right guard, moved to left guard, and then you continued to start this season. What would you say are some of your strengths as a player? What kind of player are you?
I would definitely say I'm a old school kind of player. I mean, coming from Joliet Catholic, where we ran the ball basically every play, I like to think that I'm a hard-nosed guy who's, I'll be willing to run through a wall just to, whether to get the first down or break a long run. I would say very physical, like to get after guys and move people.
And Tyler, when you think back to when the pandemic first hit, all the way up to now, take us through your emotions and some of your thoughts around the uncertainty of football at times. How did you manage that?
From going, there's like one end of the spectrum to the other. I mean, I pretty much started like, oh, okay, like, this is just a little delay. We'll eventually have a season. Eventually I got to a point where I didn't even think that we would have a season, but thankfully, things started working out, and, Conference USA was willing to work with us and help us get the appropriate testing protocols in place and help us have a season. So it definitely was a ride for sure, but we were in group chats, like our whole line is in a group chat, and, we just texting each other, making sure that, we're okay. And we're still putting in the work necessary for when we come back and, get the season rolling.
And then when you think about your football future, what are some of your hopes or goals?
My biggest goal is to play professional football at some level. I have funny story. I have this sheet that I filled out in 7th grade. It's hung up on my wall, and one of my goals was to get drafted in the NFL and play in the NFL. And I still have that sheet, and I look at it every day. So it's been my goal for a long time, and I hope that I'll be able to achieve that.
Now, you have an upcoming game on December 1st against Charlotte. Take us through that game and what it means to you as the final game on schedule.
There's going to be a lot of emotions, playing my last game. And for Western Kentucky, it's going to be, bittersweet playing with my teammates for the last time. Our O-line is really close. We've played a lot of games together. And I think that's what I'll miss the most is the brotherhood and the fellowship in our position room, in our position group. And even with our coach, our O-line coach, Mike Goff, is, he's been great to have, and great motivator, and, just a great person.
And now, Tyler, leading up to the game, everybody's different, but do you have any rituals, superstitions? Maybe there's that one song that you have to listen to every time before you step out onto the field. Anything like that for you?
Not necessarily that. I have 2 separate playlists. So before our team hype video, I'll listen to one playlist, and then I'll switch over to another one. That kind of gets me ready for the game. But other than that, when we first arrive at the stadium, I'll immediately go get my ankles taped and get dressed and just kind of sit there, and I play Sudoku for a while. It kind of helps me clear my head and focus in on the game.
And now, when we talk about the Western Kentucky program, it's put guys like Tywan Taylor, Jack Doyle, Tyler Higbee, Forrest Lamp, and others in the league recently. What has being a Hilltopper meant to you when you reflect on your time with the program?
I've had the chance to, be around a lot of great players. My true freshman year, I was here with Forrest Lamp and Tywan, and, they were great guys. And, it was really nice to learn things from them, especially, that jump from high school to college football is just so different. So, it was nice to have someone who's so successful looking out for you and, being willing to take you under their wing and, take you along. But it also, sets the standard. So many great players have come out of here. You just want to work hard and, push yourself to be the best you can be.
Now, Tyler, we spent a good amount of time getting to know you on the field. I got a couple questions to get to know you away from the football field. You ready to go there?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the first one I got for you, what's a song you're embarrassed to admit you like?
I would say right now, one of the ones that I am embarrassed that I like is this song called Wait a Minute. It's by Willow Smith. Recently it came out. I think it's a TikTok song right now, but all my roommates and me, we'll have a good laugh and start dancing around whenever it comes on when we're hanging out at home.
Now, Chicagoans are known to love their sports teams. What are the Chicago teams that you follow, and what is your favorite Chicago sports memory?
So the teams that I follow the Bears. I follow the Blackhawks very closely, and I'm a Chicago White Sox fan. And I would say my greatest Chicago sports memory, when the White Sox went to the World Series in 2005, my dad was able to get us tickets to go to Game 1. So that was a great sports memory for me, just being there and watching them win, at the highest level. It was really cool, and I'll never forget it.
Now, Thanksgiving was just the other day, Tyler. So I want to know, in your opinion, what is the ultimate Thanksgiving meal? What are you putting on that plate?
I definitely got to go with my aunt's garlic mashed potatoes. They are so good. They're probably my favorite thing when I'm at home for Thanksgiving. Definitely got to have a lot of stuffing on there, some dark meat turkey, a little bit of ham, and then probably go with pecan pie for dessert.
All right. Now, Tyler, if I gave you $100,000 to start a business, what would you do?
I have my degree in mechanical engineering, and so I would probably use it to start a business. I've had this idea for a while of developing a video game, a virtual reality video game for children with cystic fibrosis, to help them do their treatment. And I would probably put it into that so I could get that started and developed.
And now the final question I have lined up for you, Tyler. If you were having a comedy show made about your life, what actors or actresses would you choose to play your family members?
Well, I think for me, a lot of my friends have said that I'd probably look closest to Kevin James. So I would say Kevin James for myself. My dad has a really dry sense of humor. So I'd go with Ray Romano. My mom's tough because my mom's funny too. I would go with Jennifer Aniston, and then my sister, I would pick who's that? I would just say for my sister, one of the Kardashians, because my sister's she's a little bit of a drama queen. So I'd go with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Tyler Witt, offensive lineman for Western Kentucky. Pay attention to him as they take on Charlotte December 1st. The final time he'll be lacing them up for the Hilltoppers, looking to go out with a bang. And then as we move forward to draft season, pay attention to him and his journey as we get closer to draft day. Once again, that's Tyler Witt. I'm Craig Forstall. Until next time, stay safe and be easy.
Hey everybody, Craig Forstall. Thanks for tuning in and listening to another episode of That Sports Guys podcast. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at @that_sports_guy to catch all the latest updates and podcast episodes. Until next time, stay safe and be easy.